Did you see Homecoming?
Yes.
Did you like it?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, bye!
Okay, I know this review is kind of late, and you probably have already seen a bunch of Spider-Man reviews, but lots of people at RTX told me they wanted more HISHE reviews, and I don't want to let those people down. So, you think this review is too late? Well, too bad! I've been busy! You want to talk some Spider-Man? Let's get to it!
Spider-Man! Spider-Man! Homecoming and he'll smash your friends! Oh! Alright.
Spider-Man Homecoming! The Spider-Man movie with a title that is totally more about finally coming to the massive cankled unicorns and not so much about the actual homecoming dance that is in the film. Peter Parker finally has his official standalone MCU flick, and big surprise, everybody loves it. It turns out Sony not trying to build an entire cinematic universe around Spider-Man in 2 films and just plugging him into an already well-established cinematic universe is quite enjoyable. Shocking, I know. I can't believe this movie is a total crowd pleaser. Hey, there's Captain America. I love that guy. Hey, that underage girl mentioned sleeping with Thor. That's weird, but I also know who Thor is. This movie is awesome. I give it 2 thwips up. But even without all the Avengers tie-ins, Homecoming has its own charm, and it still feels pretty great. John Watts has directed a very fun, believable high school Spider-Man, and Tom Holland does a fantastic job at it. He's immature, he's awkward, he's very much still learning how to navigate both life and his newfound powers, all while the very excellent villain Michael Keaton is out there trying to be a human hover drone / Chitauri tech weapons dealer. Even though this Spider-Man is not technically an origin story, it still feels very much a beginning for Spider-Man, and I enjoyed it very much. I recommend you see the movie if you haven't, so go check it out. But I'm betting you've already seen it, so why don't we skip this don't want to say too much stuff and get straight to the spoilers.
Spoiler warning! Spoiler warning! We're gonna talk about the details, y'all!
I can't believe Gwen Stacy dies! Oh wait, that's a spoiler from that other movie that was too scared to end in a cliffhanger tragedy. Sorry about that. Anyway, spoilers ahead, homies. What did I like about the movie? I liked the setting. I like that the story is basically what happened to Peter right after Civil War. I like that he's still a young kid in high school, not a graduating senior. Having a Spider-Man adventure actually in high school and not in a corporate science lab just feels way more classic. He's got a normal high school crush. He's got a goofy best friend, Ned, who's really funny and likes to build Legos in his free time. I think all of the high school stuff is great. I do feel like Tony Stark's involvement in the story is kind of weird post-Civil War, though. In a way, this movie is kind of all about Tony giving a teenager an Iron Man suit with no instructions and then getting upset with him for not knowing how to use it right all the time. Tony's all, if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it. And Peter's all, how was I supposed to know there were life jackets in the web settings? He doesn't really say that exactly, but that's kind of how it goes. Anyway, it just felt a little weird to me. But we just allow it because we like Tony Stark.
What was your favorite part?
The Captain America videos. They were the best. And his after-credit scene about patience was probably the funniest Marvel after-credit scene they've ever done.
What did you think about all the Aunt May stuff?
I don't care about it. She's attractive. Haha, who cares? Does it matter to Spider-Man's timeline? It hasn't yet, so let's move on. What'd you think of the Childish Gambino? I didn't know what to expect from Donald Glover in this movie. I love Donald Glover, but I couldn't help feel like he was in there just as a fan service to all the people that wanted to see him as the next Spider-Man. So on my first viewing, every time he's in the scene, I just thought, man, Donald Glover does not look like he cares about this role at all. But then someone explained to me that his character is actually the uncle of Miles Morales, and I thought, oh, cool. Oh, that is cool. That is cool. I like that. I'm excited to see that actually become a later film. So I think Donald Glover was great.
What about all the Spider-Man action?
That sounds really weird. I don't know why I'm using that voice. Anyway, I like the action in this movie. However, the trailers spoil every scene of action. So if you've watched all of the trailers, you kind of can guess how the movie is going to go. So that was the biggest issue I had there. I wish I had refrained from all of the trailers, to be honest. It would have been nice to have like no idea what to expect. But the action was well done, and the web combinations are really cool.
Did you like the suit, Lady Karen?
So Peter's suit has Jennifer Connelly's voice inside, and I honestly thought that the voice of the suit was going to be like later revealed to be Tony Stark in disguise. She kind of has that Stark wit about her if you listen, and since no one was ever calling Peter about the next mission, I thought Stark was totally messing with Peter for turning off the training wheels protocol. But that didn't happen, and it was actually just a total Jarvis clone kind of AI. So I kind of feel like Karen is too much like Iron Man, a little. I'd prefer he doesn't have all of the massive variety of web shooter combinations, but I understand that's more for the true comic fans, so I can accept that. What did you think of Liz? She was okay. Sounds really mean. I didn't really feel like her and Peter really connected, considering he's supposed to be like really into her. It's just one of those crush stories where one person says, I like you, and that's kind of all you've got to go on. So it didn't really surprise me when Liz turns out to be a one-time character and says she's moving at the end. But it did surprise me to find out that Michelle is MJ. The first time through, Michelle is just the funny girl watching everything from the background, but once you know she's MJ, it makes watching her from the background all the more better. I really like how they are setting everything up for later stories. What did you think about Birdman? I mean, the Vulture. Michael Keaton is totally intimidating in this movie. It is awesome. The big twist reveal when Peter's picking up Liz for Homecoming and the Vulture opens the door was so good. Both times I saw the film, the audience just went at that part. And then the next 20 minutes was just filled with awesome tension. He is totally a great villain. And that is so vital to making a great superhero movie.
What was the point?
For Marvel to have Spider-Man back in their hands. Duh. But as a standalone movie, I think the story is simply Uncle Ben's mantra. With great power comes great responsibility. Peter is very eager to get the ball rolling and immediately become the next Avenger. He's telling Ned, I'm beyond all of this. I'm gonna be out of here when Stark calls me up. While everyone else around him is being like Kendrick, telling him, sit down, be humble.
Who that kid who's thinking he is being like Iron Man?
Sorry. Anyway, they're all telling him stay on the ground. The deli store owner says stay in school. Donald Glover tells him you gotta be better at this. Peter falls over and over. He knocks down fences. He crashes a car. Everywhere he travels is low to the ground, and even though it's really funny, it shows how much Peter is not ready and still has a lot of growing up to do. On the other side, the Vulture's motivation is from a stance that the powerful don't ever care about the little guy, something that is also very relatable. They make us eat up their scraps and clean up their mess. The wealthy just take what they want, so he doesn't think he's any worse than they are. There seems to be a serious message about people of power abusing others to get what they want. The Vulture's crew loses their Chitauri cleanup job at the beginning. Michelle makes a comment about the Washington Monument being built by slaves. Tony takes away Peter's suit when he's not getting the results he wants. Happy even hangs up on Ned because he doesn't care about what he has to say to him at the time. Even the Vulture threatening he'll kill everyone Peter loves is a gesture of the big guy not caring about the little guy. Peter sees all of these examples while thinking he can still handle it all himself, and in the end gets a building knocked over on him. And it's not till he's covered in rubble and possibly suffocating that he finally remembers the wise words, with great power comes great responsibility. No, that's not it. He remembers the wise words of Tony Stark, if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it. And for some reason that makes him strong enough to bench press the building and then go and stop the Vulture. It's just kind of convenient. But even though he still captures the Vulture and gets his victory, what I really liked was afterward when Peter makes the mature decision to turn down Tony's offer to upgrade and join the Avengers. At that point, he knows he's not ready. I didn't expect that, and I really appreciated that that's how the movie ends. Because with great power comes great responsibility. And even though nobody said the line in the movie, Peter got the chance to learn it. And it left the door open for another Spider-Man story to look forward to down the line. And that's really exciting. Oh, and then Aunt May figures out he's Spider-Man right at the last second and almost drops an F-bomb.
Classic potty mouth May.
Okay, those are my Homecoming thoughts. I hope you enjoyed them, as well as I hope you also enjoyed Spider-Man Homecoming. Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments below. I know we will most definitely be making it how Homecoming should have ended, so don't you worry about that. We still have Guardians and Wonder Woman to get through as well, so it's going to be a really fun lineup. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you again so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, watch more videos, and we'll see you next time.